Podcast Episode 3, Patch Tuesday and the Relentless Race.
From phishing scams to password woes, he's breaking it down so everyone knows. Firewall tactics, backup advice, protect your dreams, don't think twice. So plug in, tune up, get ready to learn. Every episode helps your business earn. With peace of mind and a plan so sly, let's welcome the cybersecurity guy.
It's 6 p.m. on the second Tuesday of the month. In IT departments across the UK, the coffee gets stronger, the pizza arrives, and the real work begins. While most of the country is heading home, cybersecurity teams are just getting started, because this isn't just any Tuesday, this is Patch Tuesday. And in the next few hours, they'll make decisions that could save or sink their organisations.
I'm Noel Bradford.
And I am Mauven McLeod.
For this episode, we're going inside the war room of modern cybersecurity. We'll discover why timing is everything. Perfection is the enemy of security, and the monthly patch cycle has become a global game of digital Russian roulette. This is the story of Patch Tuesday, where heroes are made, careers are ended, and the fate of the digital world is decided one update at a time. It's pure chaos, every single time.
Chaos is the word, but it's this strangely synchronized chaos. You cannot often point to a moment, like a proper moment, where the whole digital world sits up. And Patch Tuesday, for better or worse, has become that moment. It's like the heartbeat of everything we rely on digitally, right?
If by heartbeat you mean getting throttled every month, then yeah. Because look, you've got IT teams scrambling to download updates. They're poring over vulnerability bulletins, emergency calls, spiking left, right and centre. It's an 11-hour war zone for these folks. And the worst bit, everyone knows what's coming, but it still hits like a truck.
And it's never just, oh, here's a few minor updates. There are hundreds, sometimes over 100 vulnerabilities for just one vendor. And every time these teams have to make snap decisions. Do we patch this now? How critical is this one? Will it break anything important? Because let's not forget, while security's strapping on armour, operations is standing there shouting, "Don't bring down the system."
Oh, don't even get me started. The tug of war between fixing threats and not breaking business critical systems, that's the real killer. Half the time, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No one wants to be the one who says, yeah, don't worry about it, only to wake up to headlines screaming about some worm tearing through unpatched systems.
Exactly, and yet it's this silent ritual repeated month after month. The cities change, the companies vary, but the rhythm stays constant. Emails pinging, servers rebooting, a collective holding of breath. It's like, a monthly trust fall exercise, only nobody's sure if the ground's moved underneath them.
Yeah. Trust fall sounds about right, except with tripwires. Because here's the thing, some of those patches might not land smoothly. And let's not forget the worst shadow hanging over everyone, the attackers. They know exactly what's going on too, and they're going to start reverse engineering those updates within hours to find weaknesses. It's a race, plain and simple.
A relentless race, yeah, and it's been that way since we learnt the hard lessons from things like WannaCry. I mean, that attack changed the rules.
Changed the rules. Mauven, WannaCry was a wake-up call nobody could snooze through. 3 days, that's all it took. 72 hours of sheer devastation. This thing hit 300,000 computers in 150 countries. Hospitals, manufacturing, and government systems all lit up like a Christmas tree, and not in a fun way.
And the UK's NHS really took the brunt of it, didn't they? I mean, picture it, nearly 20,000 medical appointments cancelled in days. 5 hospital trusts diverted ambulances because their systems were down.
Gone, as in crippled. Cancer treatments delayed, emergency rooms in chaos. It wasn't just some IT headache. People's lives were put on hold. And the kicker?
Microsoft had released the patch 2 months earlier.
Exactly, 2 bloody months. This wasn't some cutting-edge 0-day attack. It was a patch management failure, plain as day, on the most enormous scale you can imagine. And the result? $4 billion down the drain globally. However, let's face it, what's the economic toll compared to people not getting the medical care they desperately need.
That's what sticks with me, you know. It's easy to reduce it to numbers, but there were real stories behind every line of code that didn't get patched. Real people. The sheer vulnerability of it all gives me the chills sometimes, remembering just how quickly things unraveled.
Unraveled? Yeah, but no one's learned, have they? These lessons were written in bold capital letters, but here we are, patch fatigue, still winning the day. You'd think we'd have learned after disasters like WannaCry, wouldn't you? But here's the kicker. 60% of successful breaches exploit vulnerabilities that have had patches available for over a year. A year. It's like locking your front door but leaving the windows wide open.
The window's been flapping in the wind so long it's an invitation. It's maddening. We've got the fixes and know what's wrong, but the work doesn't get done.
Exactly. We live in an era where we can yell, Alexa, order more coffee, and it just happens. But patch a vulnerability? Nope, sorry, too complicated. And the excuses, oh, don't get me started on the excuses.
It's always the same story. Not enough time, too risky, can't test it fast enough. Or, my personal favourite, the old it'll break mission-critical systems. As if leaving a gaping hole is somehow less risky.
Mission critical, my arse. If a ransomware attack shuts you down, guess what? That system's broken anyway. What baffles me is how we keep pretending it's all fine till it isn't.
And yet it's easy to see how we got here. Look at modern IT environments, layers of old tech plugged into shiny new cloud platforms. They're complex, messy, and, let's be honest, completely knackered half the time.
Oh, complexity's the villain here, no doubt. Mix in budget cuts, conflicting priorities, and a bit of corporate inertia, and boom, you've got a stew of failure. Everyone's busy firefighting with no time, actually, to fireproof the place.
And it's that constant juggling act. Security shouting, patch now, operations whispering, not on my system, you don't. Meanwhile, attackers are laughing all the way to the bank.
They are. And the irony, most of these breaches are avoidable, flat out preventable. WannaCry should have been the wake-up call, but nah, we hit snooze again and again.
So here we are living the paradox. We know the medicine works, but we're too scared, distracted or knackered to take it. And until that changes...
Knowing the medicine works, but not taking it. Well, Patch Tuesday is a prime example of that. It's not just some boring IT calendar trivia. It's the front line and trenches in a never-ending war. You're already losing if you think it's just another set of updates.
Aye, it's the unsung backbone of digital defense, but here's the twist. The patch isn't even the main story. It's the timing, the decisions, the race to stay ahead of attackers who never seem to sleep. And honestly, it's exhausting, even to think about.
Exhausting? It's a freaking monthly ultra-marathon, Mauven. And then there's Exploit Wednesday, looming over the horizon like a thunderstorm. Because while IT pros are rushing to patch, hackers are flipping those updates inside out, looking for cracks. The clock's ticking the second those patches go live.
Exactly. So by the end of this episode, we're not just breaking down what Patch Tuesday is, we're looking at why it's survived as a critical piece of the puzzle, and how it's inherently tied to everything from corporate survival to, in some cases, literally saving lives.
And we'll call it like it is. We'll dig into the hows and whys of organizations falling on their faces, even when the tools to succeed gather dust. You think WannaCry was chaotic? We're going to show you it's just the tip of the iceberg.
But we'll also go beyond the gloom, eh? Today's about understanding the game, the timing battles, and what survival in this landscape looks like. Tools, strategies, decisions, a playbook for navigating this relentless race, as you said.
And let's not sugarcoat it. It's not just a race, it's survival of the fastest. You'll see why speed, precision, and let's be honest, a bit of luck are the qualities that set the companies that thrive from the ones you read about in breach headlines.
Because here's the thing, survive the chaos or not, this is our world. Ready or not, Patch Tuesday's here to stay. Let's dig into its roots, starting with the era before patches found their rhythm.
So, speaking of chaos, let's rewind the days before Patch Tuesday streamlined the madness. Picture this, pre-2003, patch management was a free-for-all. Patches came flying out whenever, with no rhythm or reason. IT teams lived in a perpetual fire drill. You'd get a critical patch on a Monday, then another on Wednesday, and maybe one late Friday night, just to test your limits. It was pure insanity.
And the sheer unpredictability, Noel, that's what stands out to me. Imagine you're an IT person at the time, juggling all that. No consistency, no planning, just this constant scramble to keep the walls up while dealing with whatever's shoved your way. Testing, approval, deployment, it all took a back seat to firefighting.
Exactly. It wasn't patch management, it was survival of the least singed. And don't get me started on the impacts outside the IT team. Business stakeholders were losing their minds. Unplanned downtime, disrupted operations, missed deadlines. And vendors, oh, they weren't any better. No coordination, no heads up, complete amateur hour. It was a nightmare for everyone involved.
And then, in walks Microsoft. In October 2003, they finally did what no one else had bothered to think about. They said, you know what, let's do this predictably. Patch Tuesday is born, and suddenly there's this structure, a rhythm, if you will.
A rhythm that lets people breathe. I mean, they nailed this one. Monthly updates, second Tuesday, middle of the week, all those moving parts made sense. It allowed companies to plan for patches, test them properly, and roll them out without bringing the whole system down.
Right. And it wasn't just about predictability for customers. The vendors benefited too. Microsoft could bundle updates, test them together, and ensure one patch didn't knock another out. And then, once everyone saw its brilliance, they jumped on board. Adobe, Oracle. Suddenly, it wasn't just Microsoft carrying the flag.
The ecosystem effect, that's what I call it. One vendor set the tone and bam, others followed. Suddenly, you've got IT teams locking in patching days, tackling updates from multiple vendors simultaneously. It was like herding cats, except this time, someone brought catnip.
Very poetic, Noel, but yes, it showcased how powerful coordinated timing could be, and it created this ripple effect, threat intelligence sharing, synchronized planning between vendors and organizations. It became more than just predictable updates, it reshaped how the whole industry approached vulnerabilities.
And let's not overlook just how massive it's become. Modern Patch Tuesday isn't just a couple of dinky updates, we're talking 50, 100, even 150 security fixes in one go. It's a level of complexity that old school IT pros like me could never have dreamed of back in the chaos days.
Aye, the scale now is staggering. And those patches aren't just a quick fix anymore. The behind-the-scenes effort, threat analysis, triaging vulnerabilities, testing on every config under the sun. The amount of work that goes into that second Tuesday drop is mind-blowing.
It is, but it all started because someone looked at the madness and said, we can't keep doing it like this. That's what I respect. They saw the problem, fixed it, and now we are, 2 decades later, still running on the system they created.
True, but even with all that progress, there's still a catch, isn't there? Timing-wise, not every organisation gets to start patching right out of the gate.
Exactly, Mauven. Take UK IT teams as a prime example. Patch Tuesday rolls around, and it's not even Tuesday for them by the time the updates hit. 6 in the evening. So, while half the office has already packed up and gone home, the rest of the team is left scrambling to juggle late-breaking updates. It's a mess.
6 in the evening, that's a rough reality to work around. These teams plan their whole day to begin tackling this monumental task, and then suddenly, poof, the clock's shifted on them. It's less Patch Tuesday and more, Patch Tuesday evening panic.
Panic's the right word. Unless they've got a dedicated assessment team staying behind, they're either scrambling late into the night or kicking it down the road until the next day. Neither option's great, let's be honest. You're either burning people out or leaving the door wide open for attackers while you wait.
And it's not just the hours they're losing, it's the cascade. Vendor calls squeezed into weird times, usually US focused, and you're stuck trying to get clarification when half your team clocks off. And business leaders? They're either unreachable or sitting at home wondering why this can't wait till tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the magic word, though. We'll handle it tomorrow. Famous last words in cyber, because while you're sleeping on it, the criminals aren't. They're prowling, reverse engineering those patches and lining their pockets before your first coffee brewing.
And when teams do try to work late, you can feel the exhaustion setting in, can't you? Forced to make these high-risk decisions just as their brains are crying for a moment's rest. It's like tossing a coin whether to patch or pause. Either way, you lose some part of the game.
You lose. All right. Critical updates sit in queues. Vulnerabilities wave like a bloody red flag, yet strategy still hinges on outdated workflows. They knew the problem in 2003, but added a time challenge for non-US teams.
It reminds me of one of those old wartime dramas. Everyone is scrambling at the last minute, shouting over radios, trying desperately to plug holes while the ship's rocking. The only difference is that this isn't the movie. It's pure reality. And it's relentless.
Relentless. Yep. But it's the cost of doing business if you're unwilling to adapt. Global systems don't sleep, so your patching strategies can't afford to snooze either. Adapt or don't, and take the consequences. All right, let's drill into this a bit more. We've talked about the chaos when updates hit late, but it all boils down to one thing: vulnerabilities. They come in all shapes and sizes, but the critical ones make or break you. They're not just fires, they're bloody infernos. There's no room for hesitation when one of these pops up. You stop, you handle it. No delaying, no second guessing.
The drop everything kind. These are the vulnerabilities that keep security teams awake at night. Exploitable remotely, easy for attackers to weaponize, and the damage they can cause, crippling at best, catastrophic at worst. It's like spotting a massive crack in a damn wall. You don't wait to see if it'll hold. You act.
Exactly. Then we've got your important ones. Think of these like slow leaks. They won't flood the place immediately, but leave them unpatched. Sooner or later, you're in deep water. These are the patches where you've got to balance urgency with testing. You plan, you schedule, but you don't ignore.
The key word, though, is balance, because then you've got moderate or low vulnerabilities. And while these aren't screaming for attention, they're the ones that creep up on you. Picture it. You focus on the big fires for so long and don't notice the embers smouldering around the edges. Before you know it, you're surrounded.
And here's the problem. Even those lower rated ones get exploited occasionally. It's a numbers game. Attackers are like water. Yeah, they'll flow through any crack you leave open. Ignore those minor issues long enough, and one day they'll bite you in the...
No need to paint the whole picture there, Noel. But, point taken, then there's the ultimate nightmare. 0-day vulnerabilities. These are the ones no one's ready for because no one saw them coming. Attackers find them before we do, weaponize them faster than we can respond. And the patch? It's playing catch-up from day one.
Oh, 0 days. Don't even get me started. They're every IT pro's worst case scenario. It's like finding your security system hacked before you even knew it existed. And the worst part, these things sell for millions on the dark web. While you're trying to figure out the problem, someone else is already cashing in.
And this is where threat intelligence comes into play. Because it's not enough to know a vulnerability exists, you've got to understand how it's being exploited, who's targeting what, where, and why. It's looking beyond those simplistic CVSS scores and digging into the context of what's at stake.
That's it, Mauven. CVSS, for all its flaws, it's a tool, not a gospel. Threat intelligence is the real goldmine. Knowing what attackers are up to, where they're focused, that's what lets you prioritize. Otherwise, you're just throwing darts in the dark.
But that context takes resources, data, tools, and people who can connect the dots. And for smaller teams, that's no small ask. It's why getting the basics, prioritizing patches, assessing real-world risks, and cutting through the noise matter more than ever. It's a relentless landscape.
Relentless doesn't even cover it. But if you think keeping up with all this is hard, wait till you hear what the attackers are pulling next. Reverse engineering patches before most folks have even installed them. The bloody audacity. Speaking of audacity, let's talk about patches. They're not just a fix, they're practically a roadmap for hackers. The moment that code is out, attackers are combing through it, figuring out exactly what was broken and how they can exploit those who haven't updated yet.
And they've managed to get scarily efficient at tearing those maps apart. The tools they're using now, binary diffing, decompilers, it's like watching a magician reveal all your secrets before you can even hide your cards. They'll pinpoint the vulnerability and start crafting exploits faster than you can hit update on your systems.
And this isn't happening in someone's basement anymore. Nah, they've got teams for this. Full-on operations. Some of these groups rival nation-state actors with the resources they throw at reverse engineering patches. It's professional now, industrial-level exploitation. As a brief aside on the subject of nation-state actors, most people forget that the US NSA, the UK National Cybersecurity Centre, and the less friendly states are all looking for exploits, as software doesn't care what language pack is installed.
It is, and once they've built an exploit, it doesn't stay with one group for long. Exploit as a service. It's like these hackers set up their little crime Netflix for vulnerabilities. Subscription-based, franchise-ready, scalable terror.
Exactly. Someone builds it, someone else buys it, and before you know it, boom, your unpatched systems are the feature presentation. And the best bit, they've automated the whole process. AI now plays a role in exploit development. These aren't just baddies with keyboards. They're tech-savvy, efficiency-obsessed organizations looking to maximize profit from your patch lag.
The cruel irony is that it's the patches themselves that speed all this up. Every time a vendor releases a fix, they're telling attackers, here's what's worth looking at. It's no wonder we call it Exploit Wednesday. It's like a reverse game of tag, where cybersecurity starts in the lead and then stumbles as the bad guys sprint ahead.
But it's not just a stumble, it's a predictable stumble. Attackers know that most teams need time to test and deploy patches. That's the window they exploit. From Wednesday morning onward, it's open season on anyone dragging their heels.
Exactly. And the craziest part, they're confident we won't move fast enough. They're not even rushing anymore. They know the system's rhythm better than we do. It's a calculated, relentless strategy.
Relentless is right. And this isn't just theory, Mauven. WannaCry wasn't an outlier. It was the template. Every week, another exploit surfaces because someone didn't patch fast enough. It's maddening.
Yet some vendors are charting a completely different course instead of finding a way to outrun these reverse engineers. Apple, for instance, is taking agility over predictability. That's an approach worth dissecting next.
Speaking of agility, Mauven, Apple's patching approach is a perfect example. Forget syncing with Patch Tuesday. They've thrown out the schedule altogether. It's like jazz, all improvisation and no rhythm, dropping patches whenever they see fit. It's bold, unpredictable, and totally their tune.
And for the IT folks managing mixed environments, that's where the headaches start, right? Because with Apple, you don't get the rhythm of a monthly second Tuesday drop. No, it's more like, surprise! Here's a critical update for iOS. Oh, and another one for macOS, just because. Pure whiplash.
Whiplash is right. Meanwhile, IT teams are trying to juggle Windows servers here and Linux boxes there, and Apple comes along like, oh, did you forget about us? Here's a security patch at 10 p.m. Good luck. It's maddening.
And it's not just the timing, Apple's philosophy, right? They prioritize agility over predictability. Fair play, it's worked for their consumer base. iPhones updating in the background, apps running smoothly. But in an enterprise, it's a minefield.
Of course it is. Businesses are integrating Apple devices into their workflows, often because of BYOD policies. Bring your own disaster, more like. It's shiny enough to attract execs, but try patching those alongside your servers and laptops. It's a bloody circus.
BYOD complicates everything. One moment, an employee uses their iPhone for company emails. The next, they're on Instagram. Then boom, Apple drops an update. The IT teams are left scrambling, hoping folks install it before a vulnerability gets exploited.
And let's add insult to injury. Apple kits, you can't manage them like a fleet of Windows machines. You need their tools, their ecosystem, MDM solutions, third-party headaches, and good luck getting full control. Enterprise IT hates unknowns, and Apple thrives on keeping its users just independent enough to drive admins insane.
It does force a shift in strategy, though. More and more companies are finding ways to work with Apple's quirks instead of fighting them, managing updates via Jamf or other tools, and setting clear policies for BYOD devices. It's not perfect, but it's better than drowning in the chaos.
Sure, you adapt, you have to, and fair play to the ones pulling it off. But adding Apple to the mix of multi-vendor patch management feels like herding cats with a leash made of paper. You've already got Microsoft and Adobe in sync, maybe Oracle marching to its quarterly drum, and then Apple swoops in with its whenever we feel like it approach. It's exhausting.
Exhausting, yes, but also a reality. Folks aren't ditching Apple anytime soon. The ball's in the IT team's court to wrangle these patches, find a balance, and keep everyone's data intact. I know you are a self-proclaimed Apple fanboy, but that is a conversation for another time.
Balance, that's a polite way of saying barely coping, and yet somehow we keep adapting. But speaking of balance, let's get into something even trickier, the sheer scale of the environments we're managing these days. Balance, let's be honest, is more like chaos management. Patch management today isn't just about balance at all. It's like wrangling a bloody hydra. You deal with one head, maybe Apple or BYOD complexity, and another sprouts in the form of legacy systems, shrinking budgets, or endless vendor updates. It's exhausting, and no wonder some teams feel like they're drowning before they've even begun.
And at the core of it, scale. I mean, think about it. Modern IT environments aren't just servers in a data center anymore. They're sprawling ecosystems. You've got cloud platforms, on-prem kit, SaaS apps, Internet of Things devices. Even vending machines are on the freaking network these days. And each one's a potential vulnerability demanding attention.
Think about patching that vending machine while stopping an attacker from wedging open a forgotten Windows XP server down the hall. It's madness. Legacy systems, though, oof, they're like that one flat tire you've got to deal with because the spare doesn't fit anymore.
Legacy systems are the bane, no argument there. But the thing is, for many businesses, they're still mission critical. Replacing them costs a small fortune. So they patch what they can, throw compensating controls around the rest, and cross their fingers. It's not ideal, but it's reality for so many teams.
Right, compromise is the name of the game. But it's dangerous. Let's not kid ourselves. You can compensate all you want, but at the end of the day, an unpatched system's a bomb waiting to go off. And then there's the classic testing versus speed dilemma. Do you patch quickly and risk breaking things, or do you test long enough for attackers to waltz in through the gap?
It's a no-win scenario half the time. But there's something to be said for risk-based frameworks here. Focus on what matters most. Your crown jewels, the systems that can't afford a second of downtime. Prioritize those and automate where you can. Because honestly, expecting humans to handle it all by themselves, it's not sustainable anymore.
And when resources are tight, bingo. Find your weak spots, bolster the defenses around those, and patch like your life depends on it, because sometimes it does. But don't try to sprint every day. You've got to dodge burnout, or you'll have no one left standing when the subsequent breach comes knocking.
Exactly. It's about pacing yourself in the race, right? And equipping teams with the right tools, clear training, and enough backing, not just shoving the responsibility on them and hoping for miracles. Best practices don't mean much without the resources to get them done.
And that's the kick in the nuts. Everyone knows what needs to be done, but not everyone's got the kit, budget, or backup to pull it off. Still, there's no escaping the fact that the world we're in demands constant adaptation. It's survival of the best prepared. No shortcuts, no excuses.
No shortcuts. But thankfully, no shortage of lessons either. If there's anything this relentless race proves, it's that while attackers evolve fast, defenders can match them, be it through more innovative tools, stronger teams, or just having the guts to prioritize security when it feels inconvenient. It's not perfect, but it's progress.
So, if you're an IT lead, a tech, or just the one who clicks update, remember this. Every patch you deploy is a punchback at the bad guys. And yeah, it's messy, frustrating, and thankless, but it's what keeps the digital world turning. Don't lose sight of that.
And on that note, that's us for today. Keep patching, keep adapting, and when in doubt, just ask yourself, which mistake can you live with? Because leaving vulnerabilities sitting open, that's the one that'll keep you up at night.
We'll leave it there. Keep fighting the good fight, folks. Until next time, stay sharp and don't let the patches pile up. Take care.
All opinions expressed are those of the contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organisation. This content is provided for informational purposes. It is not a substitute for professional advice. Any sponsored content or paid partnerships will be disclosed. We comply with UK data protection laws. See our website for our complete disclaimer and privacy policy. This has been a small business cybersecurity guide production. All rights reserved.
Thank you for tuning in today. We'll share the tools to keep threats away. Stay sharp, stay smart, protect your gear. The small biz cyber guy is always near. Click subscribe and join the ride. Together we'll shield the digital tide. Your business is strong when your data's secure. a difference big. Protect your dreams with a clever ring. Click subscribe and join the ride. Together we'll shield the digital tide. Your business is strong when your data's secure. The small biz cyber guy, here to ensure. Thanks for listening, we're signing off. Stay cyber safe no matter the cost. The small biz cyber guy says goodbye. Until next time, keep your day